So there is a chance that Ferguson, in my opinion, could come back. And the way he could come back is if UFC decide to have Conor versus Ferguson and then have Khabib versus Gaethje, and the winner fights each other. And that's the way this could turn around. So because of what Ferguson's done with Gaethje, even though how the fight went, UFC may decide that, look, because he's done this, he should be given another chance because of how many wins he's had already. And Conor, I think, would take this fight now, right?
Is he? Because I think Ferguson was meant to be the bogeyman.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, he's meant to be the bogeyman.
So I think in terms of if you're looking at those big fights, yeah, obviously he looks like food now. After that performance, I wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm thinking Conor's going to fight, but stylistically, I don't know if that's right for Conor. We don't know. Something might have changed in Ferguson's mind after this fight. He might not be the same guy.
I think it'd be a good fight for Conor because those leg kicks were hurting him, and Conor does some dangerous leg kicks. And Conor's good at stand-up as well, and he's good at counters. He's going to be better than. I think. I'm not saying he's better.
He's more accurate. He hasn't got more power.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's better than Gaethje, but I think what Gaethje was doing to beat Ferguson that night, Conor would do it better.
See, let me just say, Conor's a 145-pound champion, right? He did win at 155 against Alvarez, but he didn't fight anyone else to get to the title. He was just given the title and he won, right? And then afterwards, he lost against Khabib. He also lost against Nate Diaz, arguably twice, in my opinion. He lost twice, right? But they gave him that second fight. But a lot of people had Nate Diaz winning. So he's lost against here. Nate Diaz is sort of a similar sort of way of fighting like Ferguson, except Ferguson fights better. Ferguson's got good cardio, so does Nate. Ferguson, relentless pressure, so does Nate. Ferguson's got awkward, unorthodox striking. So does Nate. Ferguson's good on the ground. So is Nate. So, they have everything there. And, Nate can take a punch. Ferguson can take a punch better. And we've just seen it. So, if McGregor does what he does, which is land a bunch of shots, and then somehow Ferguson stays standing after the second round, from all of Conor McGregor's previous fights, then Conor might not lose. So we don't know. The problem is the jury's still out on him being at 155. Now, if this was him fighting at 145, I'd go, he'd probably beat anyone. Because he showed it. He proved it to us. He went through the division, cut it open, and then beat the champion within 5 seconds. Was it 10 seconds or something? 11 seconds, I think. Right? Against these 155 champions. You got to remember, Ferguson's an elite fighter, and everyone's going to now judge him based on this fight alone. You can't judge him based on this fight alone because MMA is not like boxing. Boxing, people can lose, right? And then afterwards, their career, the amount of fans that go against the boxers are just like crazy. But in UFC, you can lose. You can have like a 4-fight loss and still be. Gaethje's lost twice. He's only won 4 in a row. Before the 4, he lost twice. And he lost pretty badly. If you saw those 2 fights, you'd say he was punch drunk. And he couldn't fight. And he won't be able to beat anyone after that. So people can come back. My only concern is Ferguson's age is a difference, like a factor. But for me, if I was the UFC, I would honestly tell Dana, look, give Ferguson a fight with Conor. Even if Ferguson loses, you've given him a payday because he damn right deserves a payday for what he's doing for your company, right? So if I was speaking to Dan, I'd be like, you give Ferguson a title fight, right? And then you let Gaethje and Khabib fight at it, and then you let the winners fight each other. And you never know. Could be Ferguson and Khabib again. But
what do you think? Do you think that? Because obviously the Ferguson and Khabib fight just on paper was looking amazing because they both was 12 on this 12-fight winning streak.
Yeah.
Is Gaethje? I don't think in terms of popularity he's going to be as big a fight as the Ferguson fight, but in terms of competitiveness, considering Gaethje looked a lot fresher as well, and Khabib is just a handful. is he better stylistically for Khabib now? Is it harder to fight than Ferguson?
I think it's even. The thing, Ferguson's so awkward, and he has a ground game. Like he had, so the thing I had about Khabib and Ferguson was that Khabib would take Ferguson's down maybe, and then Ferguson would fight off his back. He will fight off his back. So Khabib likes to rest his head on people's chest a lot, you know, and then he tries to like restrict their hands, takes like full, he mounts people fully, and then he does ground and pound. He likes doing that sort of stuff, right? He loves, but the thing with Ferguson is he doesn't mind it, right? He got take it, rest your head on my chest, wait, and then do your ground and pound, whatever you have to, because you start landing knees and you start landing submissions. We've seen Khabib nearly get choked out by Poirier, right? There was a guillotine choke. If Poirier, if that was Ferguson with Ferguson's hands and Ferguson's arms, Ferguson would not let that go. He would be out cold. So there is a possibility of beating Khabib. Khabib is the best in the world at the moment, right? Gaethje provides a different threat, right? So first of all, Gaethje, just like Ferguson, has got a great wrestling background. So even though Ferguson's NCAA WA champion, Gaethje's an NCAA All-American. They say NCAA is a higher standard of wrestling, right? So, but he's not a champion, but he's an All-American. He was part of it, right? So, but if you see his stats, he's got a good takedown. So, and Khabib shows that he's not the greatest at taking people down when in the center of the octagon. He takes people down when he holds people on the fence. Then he drags them down, and then he starts working his magic, right? He starts working his ground game, and then slowly overwhelms his opponents and lands a bunch of strikes, and then finishes him. So for me, it will provide a different threat in the sense that if he can't take Gaethje down, and Gaethje then circles him around and doesn't allow him to push him off push off the fence, then it's going to force Khabib into a stand-up fight. And that could be a different game altogether, because even though Khabib's good at stand-up, he doesn't have a chin like Tony Ferguson. Mm-hmm. And Gaethje showing that he lands those big punches, he can KO his opponents quite comfortably. You know, the stuff that he landed, if he lands on Khabib, maybe Khabib would drop. You know, if I had to put my money down on it, I would say Khabib gets it, because you have to give the guy props for being, I think, 27-0, right? I think he's 27-0, and he, 12 fight win streak, and who he's beaten. You have to give the fight to Khabib.